is the shortest day of the year.
The longest shadows.
A day when darkness seems to linger on earth a little longer.
And what better time to explore Wardour Castle, a ruin full of beauty, mystery and ghosts.
They say this place holds echoes of its violent past, and spirits apparently refuse to rest.
Oh yeah. Its history is dramatic, but trust me, the ghost stories are even more chilling.
Hello everyone, we have Emma back. Emma is the writer behind The Weird Wiltshire, which covers one of the most mysterious and spookiest places in Wiltshire and beyond. Let's go and have some fun.
Let's go find some ghosts.
Yeah! This place has stood for centuries, holding stories of war, betrayal and tragedy. And of course the eerie sightings continue to this day. The land here has been important for thousands of years. In the time of the Saxon kings of Wessex, long before the castle was built, this site was occupied and valued. By the Norman conquest, it had been given to Wilton Abbey, a Benedictine nunnery. The manor of Wardour was even recorded in the Domesday Book of 1086. Evidence of its significance through changing times. But it wasn't until the 14th century the Wardour Castle truly came to life.
All blocked up, of course.
Centuries after the Domesday Book, in the late 14th century, the land was acquired by John, the 5th Baron Lovell. Wardour wasn't just a fortress. Its elegant design and rare octagonal shape were inspired by European architecture, particularly from France. Lovell created a home that symbolized both strength and beauty. But even the most grand and fortified places cannot escape the tides of history. Over the centuries, Wardour saw family feuds, neglect, and finally war. A war that left it in ruins. 1643. During the English Civil War, Wardour Castle became a battleground. Catholic families like the Arundells of Wardour were on the side of Charles I, and so Thomas, 2nd Lord Arundell, joined the king in Oxford in spring 1643, leaving his wife, Lady Blanche Arundell, in charge of the castle. Lady Arundell found herself trapped inside when the parliamentarian forces arrived at her gates. Lady Blanche refused to surrender. According to the story, with only 25 men at her disposal, Lady Blanche held off 1,300 parliamentarians for 6 days. Cannon fires battered the walls. Smoke choked the air, but her courage didn't falter. In the end, the castle fell and she was captured, her husband dead in battle. In December, their son Henry, the 3rd Lord Arundell, arrived at Wardour, intending to retake the castle from the parliamentarian garrison. A 3-month siege ensued, which finally ended in March 1644, when Henry Arundell blew aside of his own castle and Ludlow surrendered. Visitors say they can still hear the echoes of the siege within the walls. Let's just listen. Some even claim they can hear voices like cries and footsteps, as if the past was reliving itself. Some parts of the castle give me the creeps, like here. Oh, shivers. Lady Blanche's bravery made her a legend, but some believe that she never left Wardour Castle.
If you have a look on the blog, there's a more modern photo that was put in the Salisbury Journal, and there's a lady she was stood here, and behind her passed by this sort of old guy or old lady, looked like they had a cane or something. Yes. But I don't know, I suspect it's something to do with, apologies for the hair everyone listening, something to do with a technology issue, a double exposure, something like that. But it's a weird photo nonetheless. So I think it was a local paranormal group who spent a night up here, and it was on this, they were up on one of these first floors when they heard a lot of sort of banging noise that they didn't expect. And I don't think they've spent nights up here before, and they made a swift exit that night. And it's also, other groups have been up here, not been able to get in, or people have visited here rather, not been able to get into the grounds, and they've seen like lights up in there.
There's nothing.
Yeah, and even Lady Arundell herself, they say she's been spotted looking out of some of these windows, but of course, as you can see, there's no floor there.
No.
So.
Oh.
As twilight approaches, if you feel a temperature drop round here, have a look for Lady Arundell, because you might see her. She's been seen on the walls of the castle, but also more often witnessed walking down here towards the lily pond. There was an old head gamekeeper's wife, and they lived in this cottage, which is just the other side of the wall there. Right. And they said they'd seen her shadow, they called it, standing by the pond. And an old headmistress of Swallowcliffe School, which is a village not far from here, she was said to be psychic. She'd seen Lady Arundell, but also a procession of choir boys walking along the paths here and going past a farmhouse window. So what's that? Some bloke.
So why would there be choir boys around here?
This is a big Catholic area, so I suppose they might have been coming from one castle to the other at some point.
Oh, okay. This is the grotto.
Indeed. When this became a ruins and a place for people to visit, when New Wardour Castle was inhabited, around that time people used to build things like grottos as a sort of an attraction in a way. Right. So this is one of them. It's a really weird little place, and one of the interesting facts is that it's actually made with some old Neolithic sarsen stones.
Oh, from where?
Yeah, from they think what was Tisbury Henge. So Tisbury's the village about 2 miles from here, and there was an old henge, and at some point they've knocked them down and they've bought some of them up here.
Like Stonehenge, like,
yeah, but maybe not quite as big, because obviously, yeah, even the biggest of stones here aren't quite that size. But when they did knock one of the biggest sarsens that they bought up here, then they knocked it over in Tisbury. Apparently they found a skeleton buried 18 inches in the ground. Found somewhere in here at some point, and it was buried somewhere in the grounds. And could that be what's responsible for the weird activity that goes on around here?
So is there weird activity around here?
I've had my own weird experience. Now, I'm not one for fainting or losing energy. I was up here at the top of the steps and I suddenly felt like the energy drain out of me, and I got dizzy, and it was like I felt like I was going to faint. And I sat down for a while, I felt a bit better. But what I noticed that day was when I walked away from this grotto, I was fine. The second time I came back, I felt really dizzy again.
Right.
I haven't had it since, but obviously I've posted a blog about this. This summer, a lady got in touch with me and she said that she was with her family here exploring the grotto. Her daughter was a little way away, her husband wasn't anywhere near, and she felt someone coming with her hand,
on the bum.
give her a little bum a pinch. No, so where was the... Yeah.
I get dizzy as well sometimes and I have weird experiences.
Do you?
Shall we go in?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do it.
They used to install someone, they'd either be religious, deep religious, and they'd be up here to kind of get closer to God, or they'd install someone who was sort of homeless, so
Right.
that the ladies and gentlemen could come by and like, oh, very.
It does feel weird.
It's a funny little place.
It does feel a little weird around there. It gives that, if you're a little claustrophobic, it just gets to you.
Funny enough, while we're stood here talking, I can feel like
I feel my legs going a bit jelly. And sometimes it's the power of suggestion,
yeah, it can be.
but it feels weird.
I've definitely got a bit of a headache now.
It
I
feels
don't know if
weird.
I talk myself into it.
My legs are shaking.
You
I'm
are,
gonna
it's
be
doing
okay.
this. We can't have all our energy. We have to get home.
Oh my word. It feels really weird. Hello, buddy.
They're up here, the second siege, throughout the winter, so November through to February.
Yeah.
It's so cold, windy, but this is where people say they sort of hear just sounds of people doing things,
Right.
chattering. And I wonder if it's old echoes of the soldiers sort of camped up here in the
Oh
woods.
wow.
They call these trees widowmakers as well.
Widowmakers.
Widowmakers in America because they fall so quick.
Oh.
They're not stable.
Oh, that's
in
not
the
good.
winds, yeah. I think we're all right here.
So what was this built for?
If you go up in the woods, there's a sort of gatehouse
Right.
area, and I think this must have been one of the entrances. So
Right.
the carriages and the horses would have come down here, down to the castle down there. People have said they've heard the sounds of horses coming through the tunnel, smelt their urine,
Oh wow.
voices chattering, stones thrown at them. A local stonemason, Harry Jonas, got in touch with me, and he was doing some renovation on the tunnel there.
Right.
And he said before they put the barriers up, him and his partner, they heard a horse and rider coming, so they jumped down to say, don't go through there, we've got scaffolding up. They looked around, nobody there.
Oh my
That was
word.
literally like this summer.
Yes.
Yeah, so people do come up and they have sat up here. Have any videos or anything like that? They
Right.
just told the story afterwards.
Oh, okay.
But they said this is more active, they feel, than the castle
Oh
itself.
wow. Oh.
Yeah.
We're going right under it.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh.
That's new. They must have found that when they were doing
Pompeius.
Pompeii.
No, that's Roman.
Yeah. It would have been built with the castle, wouldn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they found it when they were building it and they put it on top or something.
I guess it was nearing the point where it could fall down.
Yeah. What were we going to say? I lost it now.
This concludes our time at Wardour Castle today on the shortest day of the year.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us 2 thumbs up. And why don't you go 3?
Oh. I'll keep my thumbs in my pocket.
And I shall see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!